At CRC, you would provide this training to the head teachers, headmaster or respondents. In many cases, this training to the headmaster is provided by BRC or even by the district coordinators themselves. So that also you can do. But first of all, your training should have the first agenda item as to how to fill up the data capture format. This filling up of data capture format is very important, because if there is a problem in filling up of data capture format, the whole cycle of data gets disturbed and you get absurd results while compiling this data at any other level. So you should take you should give more emphasis on filling up of data capture format. You should discuss each and every item very clearly as discussed in this morning. You'll have to do this with all your officers. So this is how to fill up the data capture format. Not only data capture format, the states will also have to provide guidelines. We have noticed that in some of these states, the guidelines are not provided to the schools every year, and it's not a positive trend which we see. You need to provide the guidelines to all the schools with the data capture format. Everything should be very clear, because when they go back and fill up the data capture format, it might happen that something which you have not discussed during your training and it's troubling them, they could refer the guidelines and fill up the data capture format correctly. You should provide the DCF with guidelines. Another important aspect is for everyone who is listening to us, to all our viewers, is that I would just like to bring to your notice that in every state there is a 5% random sample check is carried out every year of DISE data. That means there is an independent agency which states constitute, they hire them, they do a 5% sample check of the data which is collected through DISE. Then they compare the data, all the deviations which are there, they are then reported in a particular format of a report, and then this report has to be discussed at all the levels. This report, 5% random sample check report, sometimes show the deviations and errors which are taken out from that comparison of DISE data as well as the data which is collected by the 5% sample check agency. It has to be discussed at all the levels. We have seen that the states are carrying out these things, but these 5% sample check reports, but they don't discuss it with the district coordinators or block coordinators. So it becomes very important that whatever the problems are there in the field, maybe there are errors while reporting the enrollment data, there are errors while reporting the number of teachers data, there are errors while reporting the year of establishment. Those kind of very one can't think of these errors, but those errors are also being reported largely in the 5% sample check report. So you should discuss all these things, that why this error is there in our 5% sample check report. Until and unless you give the message, you pass on the message to the BRC or CRCs or headmasters, the quality of data will not improve, even if you are conducting a 5% sample check. 5% sample checks are many times conducted only for the sake of Government of India, because they are bound to submit a report to the Government of India at the national level that we have conducted a 5% sample check. But you should discuss this report at all the level. Maybe if not the complete report, you can make a executive summary of that report and then share it with all the BRCs, CRCs, and at least try to take out the findings of the report and discuss it with all concerned. The next one is the sharing of previous year's data. It has also been seen that the data is collected from all the schools, data is collected from all the clusters and blocks, but the outcome of all the data, the aggregated values, total enrollment, total teachers, total classrooms, and the dropout rates, retention rates are never discussed at a level below the district level. In certain states they do that, they do come out with block report cards, cluster report cards, but somehow they don't discuss it with the concerned officers. So it is our request that you take out all the indicators, you generate all the data, and then also discuss it with all the officers at the block level and cluster level. Until and unless you tell them that the enrollment in your block or your cluster has declined by 10%, by 15%, this data is not going to improve. because then only they would come to know. Because at the block level, if they are having 100 formats, they can't just check each and every format and say that, tell you that the enrollment, why the enrollment has declined. But until and unless you flag them that this is the problem in your block's data, this is specific to your block, why the enrollment has declined, whereas in all the other remaining blocks the enrollment has increased. It may happen that it is happening due to lesser coverage. The number of schools covered previous year and this year is lesser than the previous year. It may happen due to some other reasons also. You need to find out the reason, and you would only do that if the data is available to you in a time series manner. So my request is that you should share this time series data to all the levels. Another important aspect of it is that while training the BRCs and CRCs, you should also provide them with a checklist, that you should give them in writing what all they should check in the data capture format. Once you will have to provide the data entry training to the headmasters and head teachers. Then the next day, or even after say weeks time, they will come back to the school, and then they'll come back to the CRC, and then the data capture format is supposed to be checked by the CRC coordinator. What they will have to check, that you will have to specify, prepare a checklist, like all the items should be filled in, which item you think that this could be left blank due to new inclusion in this particular year, that specify that also. If something like that is missing from the data, don't mind. Then how to check the enrollment data in table of enrollment by caste, enrollment by age, and enrollment by medium of instruction. That you will have to tell them. Apart from this, number of teachers which you have provided on page 1, which is the total summary of the teachers. Then teachers profile, number of teachers should match. These things you will have to provide in your training and provide them as a checklist to them. Apart from this, training of the headmaster and head teachers should be done at a level of cluster, block, or district. It is very difficult for a CRC to go to each and every school, impart them training, and then ask them to fill up the data capture format. So you never try to do that. You should call all the headmasters or head teachers of a particular CRC at CRC level, provide them the training, or call them at the BRC level, provide them the training, so that there are many doubts which are there when we discuss it in a larger forum. Many doubts which you don't, many questions which you don't ask, maybe somebody else will ask the question, and the doubts are clarified and the data quality is maintained for a particular block or a particular cluster. Some of the states like Delhi, they conduct the training for BRC and CRC at district level itself, or sometime at the state level itself. It is possible in Delhi. So that is how they are doing it, so that the uniformity is maintained across the state. Friends, also remember that which I said earlier also, the data should be recorded as on 30th September and not when you visit the school. Verification of DISE data capture format should be done as per the checklist given to you. The verification should be done for 100% of the data capture formats at the CRC level. That is the key level where we can check all the 100% data capture formats. Similarly, the BRCs should check the 25% of the data capture format at the BRC level at least with the same checklist. And if they find any error for a particular schools in particular schools data, they should send back the whole clusters format to the CRC once again and ask them to recheck it, verify it, and then only have it sent to the block level. The training on data entry also has to be provided to all the data entry operators who are going to punch this data at the block level or at the district level. In many of the states now, we have block level MIS coordinators with us who enter the data at the block level itself, and the data then get merged at the district level. Last point is that the school report cards, after making the data entry, after checking the consistency of data, the school report card should be sent back to the school, because that is the only thing which we are sending back to the school. Otherwise we are just asking information again and again, and there are so many formats which we ask for the schools to fill up. So this is perhaps the only piece of paper which goes back to the school, and when it is given to the school, it should be brought to the notice of the school headmaster that this school report card should not be kept in a file. Not only in a file, they should place this school report card on the notice board itself, so that tomorrow if somebody comes for the data collection of enrollment, of number of teachers or in facilities available in the school, one can simply tell them to look at the notice board, and the data could be recorded from this particular school report card. Many of the schools, they prepare their own school report card on a poster, which is a handmade poster. They prepare a handmade poster and then they place it on the notice board of the school. You have seen that. Apart from this, for improving the quality of data, for improving the reliability of data, it is very important to share this data with the stakeholders at the local level itself. So a request from you is that the data should be shared at all the local levels. From the district level, you decide to impart the Janvachan at the local level. Janvachan is a term which is social audit of the DISE data, which has to be done in all the schools by calling all the village persons or all the important persons who are interested in elementary education. You should tell them that what kind of data has been provided under DISE. You provide them a list of 15 to 20 indicators, and you should tell this to everyone that we have 200 enrollment in this school, we have 4 teachers, we have this facility, but we do not have this facility. This is all what we have mentioned in the data capture format, and I hope this will certainly help you in improving the quality of DISE data. Thank you.